Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you doing today? I hope you are fine. You are tuning in to Live with Venice, and I do have a guest speaker today. My guest speaker is Nadia Nembhard-Hunt, and she comes with years of teaching experience in Canada. So today we will be talking about how you can migrate to Canada post COVID-19. We're going to look at some obstacles, opportunities, and some challenges that we may find along the way when we're ready to migrate. All right. So before I continue, I'm going to ask you, please leave your name and where you're streaming in from in your comment box, and share this video on your page so that others can tune in and hear the good information that we have to offer. All right. So let me do that too. I will share on my page, the page that you can find. The main layout is Venice Irving. That's my Facebook page. Then you can go to my profile, my name also Venice Irving, and then you can go to my Facebook group, which is Happy Teachers Online Club. All right. So give me a second. Let me share my page so that you can see what is going on. I encourage everyone to share also so that their friends can see what we're going to be talking about today. I implore you to realize that whenever Nadia is speaking, you can leave your questions down in the comment box. We will not stop Nadia when she's speaking, so we're asking that you, whatever question that comes up while she's talking, put that in the comment box. We will go through the comments and then we'll pick out your questions and then have her answer the questions. All right. Let me share another time. So we are live. Like I said, I'm asking you kindly, leave your name and where you are streaming in from in the comment box. Leave your name and where you are streaming in the comment box. All right. Let me know how are you doing. For your questions, in order for us to see your questions, you have to go to my Facebook page, not my profile, my Facebook business page. That is my name, Venice Irving. So try to see if you can find us and come on in. Put your name down in the comment box and also put where you're streaming in from and any questions that you so desire. You want to know about Canada and how you can get to work in Canada. We are not only going to be looking at teachers and their experiences, but we're going to look at all workers and what opportunities lies ahead when COVID-19 is over. Will it ever be over? That's the question. So I'm waiting a bit for Nadia to come on and seeing everybody coming in now. Welcome everyone to our first live session, Live with Venice. And my first speaker is Nadia Nembhard-Hunt. She has over 20 years experience in the teaching industry, and she's currently a teacher in Canada. She's here to give you information on how you can migrate successfully post-COVID-19. All right, so I'm going to have her come on now. Remember to share this page so that your friends can also get the information about migrating to Canada. Hi, Nadia.
Hello, Venice.
How are you doing?
I am well. You caught me just as I was trying to get some lip gloss on.
We caught you right in the middle of your beauty regimen. That is okay. That is okay. So how are things going with you and family?
We are well, like most other countries, we're staying in most of the time, just going out to get necessities, the grocery store, any, medicine or so forth. And I'm sure that's what you're doing too.
Absolutely.
And teaching, of course, teaching online.
How is the transition to the virtual classroom going for all the Canadian teachers?
To be very honest, it depends. It depends on the type of teacher you were before. Mm-hmm. So for me, I usually use technology every week. I usually have some form of assignments in Google Classroom or some other online platform. So the transition for me and my students, it's not that major. However, for some teachers who preferred before this time to just not use technology that much,
Yes.
it is a challenge. Yes.
I can just imagine that it is a challenge for teachers in Canada, though. I would assume that many of them have had training in with IT and with virtual classrooms and things like Zoom, Edumondo. What say you? Have you been trained before this crisis?
No, not in Zoom. I've never used it before.
Hmm.
Not at all. It's completely new, but I like it because now I know I can use it to talk to a huge group of people after COVID for other
Right.
purposes.
All right. So let me start with my first question for you. All right. So we knew before COVID that Canada was always recruiting workers, not only teachers, but just workers on a whole. What is Canada's stance right now on the recruitment of workers?
Nothing has changed at all. In fact, they're still making draw through the express entry system. They're still doing draws. Even a week and a half ago, they selected people,
Mhm.
and a wide range of teachers, doctors, lawyers, whatever. Once they met the criteria, they were selected. So nothing has stopped. Nothing has stopped. In fact, what they've done is actually make things a little bit easier by extending the timeline that people will have to submit documents like getting medicals done and getting your ALS test is going to be a bit longer. It's going to be more complicated because most of these places are not open. But those who have done it before and were
Mhm.
in the pool, a lot of people are being selected still.
All right. So what kind of workers are they currently looking for?
You know what? The express entry is always open to a wide range of people, not just teachers. And so there are, once you meet the criteria, regardless of your area of expertise, you can apply to the express entry program. However, there's some specific areas that they are keen for people to apply from. And some of these areas are like advertising, people in accounting, business, marketing, and so forth. And so
All
that's
right.
very important for people to note. It's not just about teachers. In fact, there's not a shortage of teachers in Canada.
All
That's the
right.
truth. There's not a shortage, and it doesn't mean that you can't still apply, but
Mhm.
that's not a targeted area that they're looking at. They're also looking for chefs, they're looking for people who are plumbers, builders, and so forth.
All right. So we know that there are certain category of workers that they are looking for, and for those category of workers, many of them have access to the express entry, right? So many of them have applied, and many of them are trying to get into the express entry way. What about the score that they need? I'm assuming that depending on the qualifications that you have and your expertise, you may need a different score. Can you go over the different scores that people?
Yes, and that's really important because what you'll find is historically, people were able to successfully apply to the program with scores of like 400 and a little bit. Um, I successfully applied when I had score of 418, but now the
Mhm.
last score was like 471.
Uh,
So things and time has changed. So they're looking at it. There's so many more qualified people as well in the pool.
yes,
So if
yes.
I backtrack a little bit, you are competing with people all over the world who are applying to the program.
Mhm.
And so the score is a combination of your age,
Mhm.
your highest qualification,
Mhm.
your level, the levels that you achieve on the ALTS test. So the
Mhm.
higher the score, the greater the marks that you would get. Um, and so if you're over 40 and
Mhm.
you only have a first degree, at this time, even if you get 9 and 10 on the ALTS test, you would most likely not be selected until after they've come down with the score significantly. So
Okay.
it's pretty challenging in that regard at the moment. The persons who are getting through most easily now are those who are in their 20s or early 30s with
Right.
the masters.
With a master's. All right. What's
Yes.
the ideal score to have?
Right now, it would be about 460.
About 460.
Yes.
All right. So, what are the requirements that people may need to enter to enter Canada through the express entryway? Now, I know that some people know what the requirements are, but we may have some new persons coming on board
Sure.
that may just want some information. And we're not talking about teachers; we're talking about general information
Anyone.
for workers. So, just run through quickly what the requirements are.
Okay, so number one, you need to meet the basic requirement. The basic requirement is that you're in professions that are within A or the B categories. These two categories are professions that would require a degree. If the profession that you're in doesn't require a degree, it means that you're not a skilled worker, you're a skilled trade worker.
Oh.
So there are two different categories. So like chefs and plumbers and mechanics and those who do electrical work, but they're not engineers, they would be on the skills trade. That's a completely different strand of the same express entry program. But like for I know most of the people who are listening to you now are teachers. That's the professional, the skills area. That's not trade. Either way, you need to have your trade certificate from Hart or whatever other establishment in Jamaica you would get certification through, and you need to have a degree from one of the universities, whether it's Jamaica or other places in the Caribbean or wherever you're listening from. After that, you need to do the IELTS test. So this is where a lot of people are not happy who are English speaking, quite fluent.
Yes, I was quite
expert.
shocked that Jamaicans had to do this IELTS test.
Yes. So unfortunately, we all still have to do the IELTS test. And so this is just a test that gives an indication of your reading, listening, speaking, your general comprehension.
Writing also.
And it's rated out of 10. And the higher you score, the better you are. So you get
I
an
think the
overall
highest score you
score.
can get is 9.
Yes, they wouldn't give you 10. The highest is 9. However, if you score 9 in one area and 6 in another area, it's going to be averaged out. Oops, sorry.
Sorry about that.
It's going to be averaged out. And I'm sorry about that. My son
That's
just
okay.
ran in. It's going to be averaged out.
That's
and you
what
could
happens when
end up.
you're working virtually.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, yes. So it averages out. And then you now end up with a lower score than you thought you would have had. So the objective is to get scores 8 and above across the different areas.
Okay.
Yes, it's
And
very important.
We're going to be talking a little bit now about IELTS. So I'm going to pause a bit with
Yes.
Nadia. Nadia, I'm going to take you off screen, and when I introduce everyone to the IELTS and what I have in store for them, then I'll bring you back on. All right,
no problem.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we just had the first half of our talk with Nadia Nembhard-Hunt, and she mentioned that you need to have the IELTS test, and you need to get at least a score of 8 or 9 in order for you to make a good impression, and also for you to increase your score. So I want to introduce to you our IELTS class that we have here at Happy Teachers. I'm conducting my first IELTS class as we speak right now. I'm in the middle of conducting my first IELTS class, and I will be opening another class in the summer. So if you are interested, you can always contact me at hellohappyteachers@gmail.com or give me a call at 876-463-5092. I also am opening an IELTS teacher training course. So if you are a teacher and you're thinking of teaching IELTS to students, you can come on board and get a certification through us. We'll be having our own British Council expert from Colombia training teachers on that course. So like I said again, reach out to me at hellohappyteachers@gmail.com for more information on our course. So let us go back to Nadia for the second part of our interview. Hi,
Hi.
Nadia.
Yes.
We are back. So we just talked about the IELTS test, and you said that you prefer everyone to aim for 8 or 9 in their score.
Yes.
All right. So say now I did the IELTS test and I got a 5. How will that impact me and my journey to Canada post COVID-19?
You would not be eligible. If you score 5, it shows that you're not competent in the language.
Wow. So
Yes.
what is the ideal number?
7.
7. So nothing below 7.
No.
All right. So you see why
Unfortunately.
you need happy teachers to come on board with you so
Yes.
you can increase your score. Now, if I am a native English speaker, does that guarantee that I will pass this IELTS test with flying colors?
Not really. You need to practice. And there are practice materials online free that you can
Right,
use, those who are preparing can use.
right.
Because the truth is, though we're competent, the type of questions, we need to get ourselves familiar with those. We cannot just expect that, okay, I speak English, so I'm going to just, blaze through it and everything is going to be awesome. No.
Okay.
We have to be prepared, because the truth is, I know quite a number of people who actually took the IELTS, and the problem is they score below 7, and that also is connected with the fact that they may not have a master's degree, so they're seeking not only to pass the IELTS but to get the highest score that will bump the highest score in the test to get their overall scores up.
Right. All right. So we've talked about IELTS, and I just want to give some information on the IELTS. We only have one IELTS center in Jamaica at the moment, and that IELTS center is located at UWI Moda campus. I was about to say open campus. UWI Moda campus. The IELTS test. Do you know the cost right now, Nadia, for the IELTS?
Yes. They also do it in Montego Bay. So it's not only, so it's run through
so
UWI.
has their campus in Mobay, and you can do it at
Right, right.
Okay.
At the moment, the last time I checked, it was about 25,000.
25,000 for it.
Yes. But I will tell you, it is booked out for many months.
Yes, I was told that you can only start booking for dates starting in September, October.
Wow.
So it's up to September or October, around that time.
Yes.
So if you're thinking of doing the IELTS, go pay for the exam and book right now, because you'll have some time to wait. And within that time, you can study and practice and gain expertise.
Right. And the other thing is, if someone who is preparing for the express entry, if they're traveling abroad, they can also book the exam in other places, in other countries.
Right.
I've had someone going to Florida to book it because they were going on a holiday in December.
Right.
And because there are more providers, you will find that you could probably just have a wait time of, say, a few weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before you sit the exam, opposed to in Jamaica where you have to wait months.
Couple months, right.
And I can tell you, after COVID, I believe there's going to be an influx of people wanting to do the test and to progress with their applications.
I am sure. So that's a good tip, Nadia. Thank you so much for those persons who are planning on traveling, maybe no time soon because of COVID-19. But once our borders have been open and, we would start traveling again, you can book your test in another place other than Jamaica. All right. So right now, the Canadian borders are closed.
Yes.
Correct? So you are saying that when they are open, they are, opening their arms and ready to take in as many workers as possible, because they're always looking for workers.
Yes, yes.
All right. So let us focus on some areas that they're trying to fill. You mentioned that they wanted plumbers. They're looking for persons who are in the construction area. Is there any other industry that you see the Canadian government is trying to fill regarding immigrant workers?
So I will tell you, right now, nurses, that wasn't there before.
Nurses.
Yes, because obviously things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is across Canada, so they're looking into that. Um, Other areas in care,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a nurse, doctors, all the time. That has not changed all the time. And there are some provinces that are so desperate that they're paying doctors like fees to migrate. So they're relocating them and they're willing to pay the cost for them to relocate.
Wow.
In some areas, and it's probably smaller towns, you have people who have to travel out to get a GP, they call it a general practitioner or a
Practitioner.
doctor, because they don't have one in their immediate community.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, you said that in the area of care services, they are looking for people. Is that specifically people like nannies, au pairs,
No, it's more like personal social workers, PSWs.
social workers?
Yes. So I'll tell you, I'm looking at the list here. If you're in corporate sales, if you're in TV, public relations, auditors, if you're a psychiatrist or a psychiatric nurse, financial managers, managers in customer service, all of those, marketing.
So persons in mental health field also.
Yes, yes.
All right. So there's no limit. It's a wide range of
No,
workers that they're looking for.
right.
You just have to meet the requirements.
Yes, and I think what we all need to understand is that Canada's doors in terms of accepting immigrants, or what we call newcomers, it's never been closed, right? It's never been
But
closed because
that's
Canada has a aging population.
right. I was just about to say that.
Yes, and so that's a huge thing. The implication on the country's position in the economic world is connected to people who they have are able to work,
Mhm.
right?
All right.
So, and with what we're having now, unfortunately, a lot of the deaths that we're having here are within residential homes,
Homes. Right.
which
Right.
is really awful.
Yeah.
So, um, and it's just very sad all around.
Yes,
But
it is.
across the country, that's what we're seeing.
All right. So we want to move on to the different provinces and the different requirements for each province.
Right.
Now, how many provinces does Canada have?
10.
10 provinces.
Yes.
Within those provinces, each province have their own requirements for workers.
The basics are the same.
Mhm.
The requirement for doing the IELTS test and getting these
Right.
scores, it's the same. However, each province will have at different time periods targeted groups that they're looking for. So
Mhm.
doctors, almost all of them. Those in plumbing and chefs and so, almost all of them.
Mhm. What
Um,
if you're in the tourism sector?
Not so much. That's not because they change this all the time, but that's not one of the areas that any
That
of
they
the
are looking
provinces
for.
looking at now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about if you're a dentist or
Yes.
a lawyer?
Yes.
They are looking for
The
those.
thing is, those people, once they have the score, that they're drawing people, or they're picking people with those scores, they will still be successful in their application.
Mhm.
However, there are these people who are highlighted as targeted groups. You have all the provinces going into this big pool of people and they can pick who they really want. And
Right.
so, for example, Ontario will go in and pick a sales executive or
Mhm.
someone who's shown that they have that sort of experience. They'll pick them. If you're selected by a province, you're usually given 600 additional points. Right. So that's how it works. They
So that puts
automatically
you
add
ahead of
that.
the pool.
Yes. So you will definitely be selected. Um, Once everything else, all the basic requirements like the IELTS test and so forth, they've been met.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. All right. So let me ask you another question. You mentioned that there are different requirements, and one such requirement is the worker needs to have a medical. So let's
Yes.
go through the medical now. How important is it? And
Yeah.
what do we need to do when we say we need to do a medical?
Okay, so it's very important. If you fail the medical, then you can't come. The medical involves a chest X-ray. It involves being checked for TB, which is via the chest X-ray. You're checked for syphilis. That's a specific test that is done. You're checked for any other chronic um, medical issue. It doesn't mean that
Are you talking about things like diabetes,
no, no,
hypertension? No.
no.
Okay.
TB, HIV, syphilis. Those are the things that they are looking for. So you'll do a blood test and you will actually do an X-ray.
All
And
right.
from the blood test, they'll obviously extract the testing for syphilis, HIV, and so forth.
All right. So if I have asthma, I can rest assured that they won't hold that against
You'll
me.
be all right. A lot of us have it. Yes.
All right. So you're saying that without the medical, we can't go.
No, it has to be done
It has to be done.
for everyone, even children.
All right. How family friend? Well, why am I asking how family friendly is Canada? We know Canada love family. So my question should be: if I
Yeah.
am trying to migrate with my family, do I have an advantage over a single person?
No, there's no advantage there. No, it's a plain field. Yes, but I will tell you, people with children will love what Canada has to offer children.
I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Can you tell us some things that, like you having 4 children, would experience with your children there? What things can mothers and fathers look forward to regarding what Canada has to offer for their children?
Okay, so Canada is green, very green. Canada being the second largest country in the world, coming after Russia, even though the population is just a fraction, but the land space, the
Hmm.
greenery, the environment is beautiful. So, like for me, if I drive 10 minutes down the road, well, less than 10 minutes, 5, 6 minutes, I am by a lake. I can do fishing. Your kids can go. There are streams, small bodies of water running through beautiful green areas. You can go. Just sit, chill with your family. Your kids can, interact with nature. And so everywhere you go, unless you're downtown, and even if you're downtown Toronto, a few minutes drive, you can get to Toronto Island, right? And
Hmm.
once you get to Toronto Island, beautiful lake, beautiful greenery. You can do kayaking. You can do so much more with your children. Each community is like a little pod within each community. Even as developers build new homes, the requirement is that they have to put within that community play spaces. So you have, like, when I say
A
parks,
park?
I mean structured parks with swings and all of those stuff for kids to play. You have
Hmm.
sand pit and so forth. So it's well developed, taking into consideration the different age ranges of the kids that probably would live in the community. And then you have like green belts. You have areas that are conservation areas within different pockets in say the Greater Toronto area. Also in Canada,
Education wise.
and like education wise, your children will go to the school that is nearest to your home.
Okay. So
And
it
you
depends on
have,
where you live.
yes,
I think
and
it's
that is
similar
very
to the
important.
States, right?
Sorry?
I'm saying that sounds like it's similar to the States.
Yes, and to the UK as well. So what happens is you have Catholic schools. You only get to go at the elementary or the primary level. Your kids will only be eligible to go if you're a Catholic. Now, at the secondary level, it's different. Your kids can go to the secondary Catholic school, even though you're not Catholic. Then you have the public school. Catholic school is also public, but there's a religious affiliation there. And then you have the regular public school, and you have French immersion schools. So if you want your kid to be fully immersed in French, where they're learning everything in French, then you would send them to your local French school. And there is usually a local French school. If there's not one very near to you, then they would actually provide transportation to pick the child up from your home and take them. And when I say home, it doesn't mean exactly at your door. It could be within 2 minutes around the corner. All the kids would
Right.
meet in the
Right.
community and the bus would collect them and then they would go to school. So I would say for me, having taught in England and in Southeast Asia, I love the system here because it focuses a lot on thinking. Kids in school focus on why, not just
Critical,
solving problems,
critical thinking, right?
critical thinking and inquiry. So they're not just, trying to see how quickly they can get this answer.
The
There has
answer.
to be a process to it. And I love that as a parent and as a teacher as well. In terms of financially, so in Canada is similar to England in terms of what the government provides for children.
Mhm,
Each child, depending on their age, will get an amount each month.
mhm,
It's not considered income. The government in Canada, they don't use it for tax purposes. So, for example, when you do your tax return, they don't add what you get from the government as part of your income because it's not. It's part of what you have just to make sure your kids get to do extracurricular activities, to do swimming and to
So
learn
it's
new
not supposed to
things.
go in your pocket, right?
No, no. Unless you're saving it for their education or something, helping them to learn to drive or whatever. And so each child would get a certain amount. The amount that you get is totally dependent on your income in the previous year. So when people migrate to Canada, they file taxes even though they didn't work in Canada. So they file it based on their income abroad. From that filing, they would determine how much they're going to give you for your child or your children each month. So that's a blessing. It is a
It sure
blessing,
is. It sure is.
right? So that's something also that is very important within the Canadian system.
I'm sure many people are wondering, so how much do you get per child? Can you give us just an average? I mean, I'm sure it probably ranges depending on the province you're
Yes.
in. But just to
I
give
will say
us
in
an average.
Ontario, if your child, so it's income, it's connected to your income. So
Okay.
if in the last year your household income was say 150,000 for the year, household income, then you can still look to get about, um if you have one child, you probably only get for that one child 300 for the month.
Okay.
If
Okay.
the more children you have, then you multiply that by the
By
the,
the
um,
amount.
the number of children that
Yeah.
you have. And as children get older, they get less.
Oh, I see. So the
Yes.
younger children will get. So that will encourage people to have more children.
Well, well, it happens in
But we
Europe
just
too.
said it. Canada has an aging population, so
Yes,
they want their population to grow. So that's a good
right.
encouragement.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about anybody else, but certainly not me.
You've already had your lot. All
Yes.
right.
Mhm.
So let me go through. I know the stream is being on my page, on my profile, and on Happy Teachers page. So I'm trying to see the questions that people may have.
Okay.
Guys, put your questions in. We had up to 30 people. Now we're down to 20 persons currently on. So guys, we are here. We're ready to answer your questions about
Mhm.
Canada. Remember, we're not only talking about teachers this time around, we're talking about everyone because everyone is looking somewhere to go, right? Now, you have some people that love Jamaica. We all love Jamaica too, and we want to
Yes.
stay, but you have those that want something else. And for that, for those people, we offer Canada as an option. All right, so I'm getting out a likes. Hi,
Yes.
Sharon. Hi, is this Natoya? Hi, Natoya. Let me just say hi to some people. Hi, Emily. Hi, Janice. That's my sister. Okay, so we're looking for questions, people. We're here and we're ready to ask questions.
Mhm.
Nadia,
Yes.
for persons who want to study in Canada, what are
Yes.
their options?
Right. I'm glad you asked that question because I'm going to be honest. Not everyone will qualify for the express entry, meaning, for one reason or another, you may be over 40, um, and you don't have a master's, or you may have scored lower than 8 or 9 in the IELTS test, and so your score is not at the place that it should be or it could be to get you selected. So I say to people, don't give up, because an alternative is you may want to study, because really, if you have a first degree, I'm going to be honest, in the competitive global market that we're in now, I encourage every single educator first to be a lead learner, to move forward, to do something more. Your first degree is just a wet of your feet
That's
in the
true.
area of studies. You want
That's
to go beyond that, because in your application, whether it's to come to Canada to study, whatever, you stand out. It shows that you want to go further. There's an area of knowledge that you want to be better at or better in. And it's a good example for your children too, and for those that you coach and, empower and so forth. So I would say, think about coming as a student. It is not cheap to come as a student. However, if you come as a student, within 2 years, you can apply for your permanent residency. And the great thing is, when you are applying for your residency as a past student, you don't need to provide the financial proof that you would need to provide if you're just coming straight through the express entry and not being a student. Because one, as a student, you score extra points when
right.
you apply, and you also score extra points for working in Canada, because the assumption is if you're studying here for 2 years, you're going to work.
Hmm.
And students are allowed to work 20 hours during term time, and during holidays you can work full time, so 40 hours or whatever you choose, whatever, 40 or 400 hours a week. And so after studying, you get what, after 1 year of study, you get a postgraduate work permit for 1 year. Now, I don't advise people to go for the 1 year postgraduate work permit. I advise people to do another 1 year program or the 2 years program, because after that 2 year, you get a 3 year postgraduate work permit. And within that 3 years, it's very likely, and I've seen it happen over and over and over, that you will get a permanent job. You'll get a permanent job offer, and you'll apply for your permanent residency.
All right. So I'm getting questions coming in, but I have a question. What if I'm here in Jamaica? I'm here in Canada, not Canada. I'm here in Barbados or any
Yes.
other country outside of Canada, and I decide to start studying online, but I'm studying at a Canadian college or a Canadian university. Will that help me to get into the express entry faster?
No, unfortunately not. It has to be Canadian experience on the land.
Face
On
to face experience.
here. Yes.
All right. Marsha. Hi, Marsha. Marsha Malcolm is asking, what about scholarships for persons who want to start as students? Are there any options?
Yes. So, in fact, I can tell you, and I was talking to somebody yesterday who wanted to do a PhD. Your PhD, if you are at that place, you can actually study at some universities fully paid, fully sponsored. Um, if you're doing a master's,
How how can we get that fully paid and fully sponsored?
because at PhD level, you're now going to be considered as an expert in a field. And many universities, they have money, they have funding, either from the government or other private bodies, who want to see improvement in certain area, certain field of study. And so they would actually, oh, absolutely. Not only in Canada, in many countries, if you want to do your PhD, it's fully funded.
That's quite
If
interesting.
you want to do your master's, it is not so fully funded. It
Right.
is usually you pay for it. However, you may get a grant, you may get a smaller scholarship.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Thanks so much for that tip. Nicole
Yes.
Bingham Bernard. Hi, Nicole. She's asking about, well, she's suggesting that we talk about the process to get her credentials assessed.
Hello, Nicole. Nice to see that you're on. So Nicole could even be talking to us because she came to Canada through the system. I'm just going to say, when you see me looking distracted, I'm actually looking at my phone just do the
Likewise, I'm trying
questions,
to get
right?
the questions from the
So,
phone.
right. So, Nicole, the process of getting your documentation assessed, that's what she's saying, the evaluation. Okay, so there are different organizations that do this process. However, the number one body that does evaluation of overseas documents, and when we say documents, we're talking about your diploma, your degree, your master's, whatever, it's called WES, and that's World Educational Services. Um, that's a place that you would send your documents to,
Mhm.
and they would assess it. Now, in terms of the costing of that, right now it's probably about 200 Canadian dollars, or just over 200 Canadian dollars. The time frame for that varies, because at times they have a huge backlog, and at other times it's not so much, and you will get your documents evaluation done quicker. That's very important, because you have a degree from Jamaica or Bahamas or wherever.
Trinidad.
Canada needs to get it assessed to see that it is comparable to Canadian degree or master's or whatever. So it has to be evaluated by WES.
Okay. All right. So, guys, before I ask any more questions, please share this video. Please like and also share this video and follow my page, because this is where I'll be hosting a lot more of my live sessions. Every week, we'll have another person coming on to talk about different things. So get on board, connect with me here, share the video so other persons can get the information. All right. Hi, Michelle. Hi. Hi, Hussein from Trinidad.
Somebody's asking about the PhD. So Marsha was asking about what areas are funded.
Okay. Go ahead, Marsha. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Nida.
So I know right now, Queen's University is offering, and they do offer
I know
full
Queen.
funding, fully funded PhDs
Wow.
in all programs.
For all programs
All
across the board,
programs.
once you're doing the
Yes.
PhD.
Yes.
So all you have to do is try to get accepted.
Yes. So their program is now closed this year, and it will reopen in September for 2021 intake.
So I would assume that that's quite competitive.
Yes, but again, if you're in a field, it's not every field that would be as competitive, right?
Okay. Okay. I
So it
got it.
depends.
Okay. Hi, Nick. Hi, Keon. They're having a lovely chat there. Um, Marsha commented again. Okay, so Marsha says, thank you. I'm looking to immigrate, but anything is. I'm
I'm
not
not.
looking to
Yes.
immigrate, but anything is possible. All right. Any more questions, ladies? Any more questions, gentlemen? Send on the questions so that we can get you help regarding going to Canada.
I think Patricia asks, hi, who is responsible for the migration cost? Hello. You are, all of you. Maybe she wondering if somebody could sponsor.
Sponsor.
No, you are. But let me say
That's so
something.
funny.
I am a believer in investing in what I want.
Exactly.
You cannot put a value on your future and the possibilities,
True.
right? So it is costly to move to Canada. And for example, if you're a single person moving here, in terms of the amount that you have to show, which we call like settlement fund, money that you're going to show that you can use to settle when you move to Canada, right now it's nearly 13,000
Canadian
Canadian
dollars.
dollars, okay, for one person. And with each dependent that you have, you're going to be adding another 3-5 or so onto it. It's a costly process, but at the end of the day, you have to know if it's worth it for you.
Right.
And it was worth it for me and my family. I have zero regrets about the move. I love everything about Canada so far.
And most of all persons that I have known that have gone to Canada have said
Yeah,
the same. It was worth it. In
it
the
is.
end, it was worth it.
Absolutely.
And as
Absolutely.
you know, in Jamaica, we say, if you want good, you know, if you run,
Yeah,
right?
and the other thing is when it comes on to education, because a lot of people may say it's expensive to study, whether it's in their home country or abroad, you cannot put a price on your education. And people who take loans and stuff to buy house and car and stuff, I say invest in your education, take the loan and go back to school. You
And
cannot
go,
lose because it increases your earning power. I was listening to a conversation recently with a brother who now works in one of these leading companies, financial holding companies in the US, a young man, and he was able to tell the audience that, look, I thank God as a believer that He has enabled me. But honestly, I did something. God showed me that I had the ability. He opened the door and I stepped in and I studied. Had I not completed my MBA, this is what he was studying. He was saying I would not have been even looked at by Goldman Sachs. I would not have been looked at by this other big company that he's at. I would not be able to live where I live, travel how I travel, give my kids what they have. So we have to look holistically, right? When we think about these things, we're
yes,
creating opportunities for other people too.
absolutely. All right, Nadia. So let me go do one last sweep over
Okay, I am looking too.
just to see if there's anybody else that have more questions. Okay, so somebody's asking, how do we even start?
Okay,
Where is the starting point?
right. Okay, sorry, I was looking at some of the questions. The starting point is you have to
That is from
assess.
Natalie.
Okay, you have to assess where you're at now. Do you have the money? Because let me go back to money. When you complete your application and you get selected, you will have 60 days. Now they've extended it, but usually you have 60 days in which to provide documentation, which would be something like a bank statement or a letter from the bank or so forth, to show that you have the amount of money that I mentioned before to settle in Canada. If you've been working on saving or you know where you can get this money from and it's your money and you can show it,
Mhm.
then the biggest part is out of the way. Now you need to do the IELTS test and get your documents evaluated by Wes. If you have those three things done, then you're ready.
All right. If I don't have the money, and maybe this is what Natalia wants to ask, if
Right.
if I don't have the money and I really want a change in my life, I want to just do something different. I want to go to Canada. Is it possible for me to go to the bank and borrow a loan and use that money to start my journey to Canada? Is that a good idea?
It is a good idea, but I'm going to say only you should know.
And what are the reasons? What are the drawbacks with that?
Okay, I'm going to be careful about what I say because this video is going to be public, but only you will know.
Mm-hmm.
It's your money. You have to know that you can pay it back.
Exactly. And
You the
also,
money.
I always say to people, what if you go ahead and borrow the loan and you don't get through?
Well, the thing is, you still have the money because the money is not taken. The money will
Until
forever
you
be
get through.
yours. So what I say is, it's your money. Just a very important point here. When you apply and they ask you to submit your documentation, the money that you have need to be in that account, that specific account that you're going to show them. The
Mhm.
money would have need to be there for 6 months, sitting down.
How much is that money again? $30,000? I mean,
Yes,
$30,000?
yes, for
So
one
we're just
person.
gonna leave that there for 6 months.
Yes,
We're not gonna touch that.
yes. This is a sacrifice. It's a big thing. But that's it. You have to, because obviously they know that we could just go and borrow it from the bank, which means we cannot really afford it. But in the real world, come on, people, in the real world, we go to the bank and get a loan. And that's what we do. Or, we borrow it from our sisters, because that's what we do in sisterdom, right? We
Right.
support each other. We get it from our families and put it together. We need to know.
This will be made public.
But the truth is, maybe you have money, but you don't have it in the account. Like, I'll give you an example. I know someone who was getting some redundancy money. They had way more than the money, but it's just coming in. They didn't have it for 6 months. So they
Right.
had to go and borrow the money and put it in, and then they could give it back. But really, they can afford it.
Okay.
So when they come to Canada, it's actually their money that they have.
All right. Looking through for any more. We're wrapping up, guys. So we're
Yes,
just
somebody else was asking. Jesse, somebody, Naomi in the UK. Hello, good to see you
Hi,
on.
Naomi.
Yes, so yes, you have a psychology degree, you can apply, but remember I say that your age is going to come into consideration, because all of those factors together
Right.
determine the score that you will have.
So the older you are, is the less you'll get.
Yes.
So you said the ideal age is around 20 to 30.
Yes, if you are over that and you have a master's and or a PhD and you have high scores, then it would be higher too.
Okay. All right. So we're wrapping up, guys. We have 5 minutes to go. We're going to take one more question. Let me look through and see if there's anybody else with their question.
So I can see Alicia. Alicia, hello. Gonzalez. I think you can contact me.
Yes. Talk about
Yes,
your contact
definitely
details.
inbox me if you're ready to take the first step. Yeah.
So tell us your contact information.
Okay, so are we gonna type it out, or are you gonna just on
You can say
Facebook?
it
You
and I'll
can
type
find
it.
me on
I'll type
Facebook.
it out.
You'll type it out.
Go
So
ahead.
ease education consultancy on Facebook. You can find me there.
Okay. I thought you were going to give me email address.
Oh, so easeeducationconsultancy@gmail.com. Okay, some Armando is saying it's somewhat similar to here in the US. Okay.
Let us see if this comes up.
And I can see Alicia on yes. That's good.
Okay, so that is Nadia's email address. It's on the screen, so you can take it down quickly. easeeducationconsultancy@gmail.com. All right. All right. So, guys, we are wrapping up. We thank you so much for being with us and spending this 1 hour with us. Nadia, it was a time well spent. Do you have any
welcome.
Parting words for us as we go?
Just to say that I know a lot of people love Jamaica like myself, love the Caribbean where they live and so forth. There's no reason why you can't go back when you're ready. But this fluidity, I like the fluidity, the ability to be moving across places with ease. And I think I said it before when we talked at, maybe a year ago, Venice, that it opened opportunities. And we can't just think about us, we have to think about our children or other people that we're able to help to move beyond just one place. You want to travel? Here's an opportunity too. If you move to Canada and you are a resident, you're free to go wherever you want to go. You have options. You're not restricted to just being one place and feeling stuck. And maybe some of you feel stuck. Why not try something new? You know, why not look at other opportunities? And it doesn't mean you're sellout, because I know a lot of Jamaicans are very Jamaican to the boards, and yes, but it doesn't mean that wanting an opportunity doesn't mean that you're selling out or anything like that. You know, we're a global community still.
Yes, we are. All right, thank you so much. I know people do, say that if you leave and go somewhere, that you're a sellout. But we want to encourage people to do well and to grow and to be persons that can leave a legacy for their children. So I'm
Right.
going to say thank you, Nadia, so
You're
much
welcome.
for being here. Thank you so much for lending your expertise and giving us your knowledge. And guys, meet me next week. I will put the ad for the next person that I'll have on board. We're going to do this every week where we're going to give information on some topic. It doesn't have to be a topic on education. We can talk about any topic that we can do to encourage people in this COVID-19
Right.
crisis, how to make money online and how to learn online and how to engage your students online, any topic per se. All right. So tune in next week for another topic and another guest. All right. See you
Right.
guys
See
next
you.
week. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye bye
Bye.
bye.